Hi, it's Stephanie here from HMO Heaven again. Great to be back with you, and I've got a corker of a video for you today. It's exactly what it says on the tin. It's all about deal analysis, how to analyse your rent to rent deals if you're managing HMOs on a guaranteed rent basis. Now, this is the difference between having a successful and sustainable business or overstretching yourself and going down the pan.
In the words of Nick Leatherland, HMOs stands for High Maintenance Operations. And, we can't disagree with him. And you have to know that every deal is worth the hard work and possibly, quite possibly, the blood, sweat and tears that you're going to put into managing that property is worth it.
And if you like this video, please subscribe by hitting the red button below and give me a big thumbs up too. And the question was asked by Eduardo Mendoza. Thanks, Eduardo, for this question. And Eduardo left a comment on my video, which was 5 simple steps to getting your first rent-to-rent deal. And this was Eduardo's questions. This is a great video, Stephanie, very informative, and I must say you're a great presenter. I like you already, Eduardo. Thank you for the great info. If you can, a video on how you analyse your deals will be very useful. Well, here it is. This is exactly how we analyse our deals. I'm going to go into our deal analysis spreadsheet and show you the steps that we take to make sure that every deal is a winner. And the best bit is that this spreadsheet is going to be available for you to download online. And keep watching right to the end of this video to make sure you're staying on the right side of profits and you're not falling into the optimism abyss.
So, here we go. Here's the spreadsheet.
Here we are. This is our rent-to-rent deal analysis spreadsheet. And let's just start at the top. Obviously, I'm not going to walk through the basics, but you just fill out the details at the top. You put in the contract term. Usually our contract is for 60 months. So then we've got, I'm going to put it onto 2. This is onto 1. But this is the summarised version. So we've got income here, then the total income over the whole period, less the cost of sales, which is there, and gross profit, operating expenses, and net profit. And then I'm going to walk you through these figures afterwards. But we'll go back to the line by line now. That's the overview. This is the line by line. So if you charge tenant admin fees, you put those there. Are there any other income you get from the tenants? We don't actually charge tenant fees. Then this is the rental income. This is a calculated figure in that box there. I've just put it down that there's 5 rooms and they're all £400 a room. As I went through some analysis of rent figures in Newport in last week's video, which is called Rent to Rent is Illegal, etc. In that one, there's a bit of spare room analysis of Newport area, and actually 400 is quite to the top of the room rents at the moment for a non-ensuite room. That's the figure that we're going with. 5 times that, 2,000, and that's the calculated figure over a whole year. I'm just going to ignore this slide at the moment, refurbishment income from landlord. I'll talk to you about the refurbishments in a moment. But for now, what I want to do is just talk about, we've filled out the income, that's quite straightforward. And then we're going to fill out the costs. Now, all of our deals are direct with the landlord, even those where we were introduced to a letting agent. The letting agent was just introduction only. So we don't have these fees. Other professional fees, land registry, we usually do have that, but it's a very insignificant fee of £3. My Deposit Insurance. We used to use My Deposit's insurance quite a long while ago, but we now use the free deposit protection service. But if you use an insured deposit schemes, you put the cost across there. Deposit paid to owner, we don't pay deposits. Guaranteed rent paid to owner. So this is the figure which can change. So I'm just going to set that to naught at the moment, and I'm going to show you, once we've got all the costs in, how you can then adjust that figure and look at what happens to, obviously, to the profit margins. And then we've also got a figure here which is automatically calculated, which tells you what the guaranteed rent is as a percentage of the total rental income. Now this is the refurbishment costs here. I'm going to set that to naught as well at the moment, and I'm going to come back to all that. So after those costs, we've got the gross profit, and then we've got the operating expenses. Now, this is the bit where quite a few people do tend to skimp. And when I mentioned earlier the optimism gap that people can tend to fall into, we all as humans, when we want something badly, we put to the back of our minds, or do not see it, or are blind to the things that don't work. This spreadsheet means that everything is in your face, and all the numbers don't lie. So these numbers for this part of the spreadsheet I've taken from a 5-bed property that we've got, and these are the actual figures over 1 year. So these are the monthly costs spread out over the year, and these are actuals. So the cleaning, we've got and I'm going to point out where you can rationalise or make savings. Now our cleaners go in fortnightly. For us that feels like the minimum. That keeps on top of the cleaning and keeps things looking good. When you've got people moving in and out, it keeps the place clean and tidy, and it's nice for the tenants who live there as well. We wouldn't go less than fortnightly, but I know that some people do it monthly, and that works well for them. Other people ask the tenants to do it on a rota, and that works well for them. So these are ways that you could make savings where you don't have that expense, because it is significant. So then council tax, electricity at £43 a month. Now, don't be taking these as gospel for any 5-bed. We've got other 5 beds of a similar size where the utility costs are much higher. But I just wanted to put these actuals to give you an indication of a real life example. Now, gardening at this property, there is no gardening. It's just a small concrete garden to the front and some stones out the back. So there's nothing to do. But we have other properties that do have gardeners, and I did check out before I came online, and the average on the gardening cost is £17 a month. For the properties that have a more substantial gardens. So we've got £49 a month for the gas. So we've got our contents insurance at £20. Now we've got management fees. Now we do all the management ourselves, but we allow 3% of the gross rent as management costs. Now that covers things like the advertising on spare room, advertising on open rent, and all the other business expenses that go off with managing the property. We've got Arthur, that we use the property management system, and various things like that. So it's important to recognise that the cost of your management, even if you do it yourself, is not free. So we allow 3% for that. Again, we allow 3% for the minor maintenance. Now that is not the exact fee. Actually, I've just calculated that on the 3%. So what I'll do is I'll go back and I'll put on the screen what the exact maintenance cost was for this property. TV licence, £13, voids, £60. So let me explain a bit about the voids. So we, on the deal analysis, allow for 3% voids, very low compares with most letting agents. Now I'll tell you what our voids are at the moment. Our voids are just under 1% at 0.9%. This means the average days void per room is 3.9 days. So obviously there is room for improvement there. We're in a challenging climate, so we're doing very well. We're all full at the moment. and no voids. So we've got some rooms that are coming up, but we've got a month to fill those rooms. So that actually costs us £2,000. That 0.9% voids costs us £2,000. So you can see why it's so crucial to keep your voids as low as possible. So to allow for those voids, we allow for 3% in there. You will obviously have to make your own judgment as to what you're going to allow for. Depends what the market's like in your area. So water we've got at £57 and Wi-Fi £36. I think that's all quite self-explanatory. We've got the total operating expenses £560. And we've got this figure here, which is the operating expenditure and guaranteed rent as a percentage of the rental income. So we haven't got the guaranteed rent in yet, and we can see that of the total rent, it costs 28% of the total rent to run this property. So let's go back up now. Oh no, let's go back. Let's go down, and I'll show you the bottom three figures. So we've got the monthly net cash flow after all costs. So that's including any refurbishment, including the management and maintenance and voids. Now, here we're excluding the management, maintenance and voids, and that tells you how much profit. And what we're doing here we're excluding the refurbishment. It's just so that we're aware of those different figures. But the one that matters is what is the monthly net cash flow after all costs, and it's this figure here that's really important. So let's go back up now, and we can actually put some rents into the landlord. Now we'll know how much we can afford to pay the landlord. So here's the guaranteed rent paid to the owner, and we're going to put it in here. What about if it was as a single rental, and we could offer the landlord a bit more maybe than he'd already been getting as a single let? Or even though our properties are all HMOs, because the market is so challenging in Newport at the moment, many HMOs are being used as single lets. So let's say that was the case, and perhaps the landlord was achieving 700 or thereabouts. Let's just say we made an offer of 750. So if we scroll down now, without any investment, the net monthly cash flow would then be 1,440. Okay, but it's quite likely that there would need to be some refurbishment works. And let's just say that the total of that, decorating, building, cleaning, furniture and dressing, was going to be £6,000. A good thing that we can do here is say to the landlord, well, do you know what, we'll pay for that works, or would you like to pay for that works and we'll give you £600 a month, or we'll pay for that works and we'll give you £650 a month. And that means that the profit line therefore is unaffected. So that's how we managed to do the refurbishments and also still be able to make a profit. Now, most of our rents are not at that level. And so a typical on a 5-bed might be £1,000. And therefore, you can see that after all costs, including the refurbishment and all the other costs, it's £340 a month. So let's say 800, and it's £540 a month, and so on. And you can adjust it up and down and look at what the profit will be, and make your decisions accordingly. So a really useful tool to help you make sound decisions on your investment. And this is also a useful figure as well, which is the net profit across the whole 5-year period. And we've just got some bits and pieces in the bottom. Right, so we just want to track also how long it's taking to get each property up and ready. So I'm just going to put some dates in here, and you'll see that it automatically calculates the number of days, and we can compare this across properties. So first view the property, say it was on the 1st of March, and then it might be a while to agree the terms with the owner. So let's say it was the 8th of March. And then normally we would email the agreement straight away. A signed agreement and collected the keys. Our email agreements are all online signatories. And then when the works is starting, let's say it's there, like that. And we always agree with the landlords now as well that the rent starts once all the works are completed. So let's say it takes 2 weeks, 17, let's say it's 30th of March. And then we'll say when the viewings commence, usually we start the works, start the viewings rather, before the works are completed. And the property filled, usually it's within 1 to 2 weeks. So let's just say 2nd of April. And that's it. It just gives us that picture for each property, and we can compare between the properties. So I hope you found that useful. It's quite a fast whiz through actually, isn't it? So if you have got any questions or anything's unclear, just please do leave a comment in the comments below. So that's the deal analysis spreadsheet. I hope that was useful to you. It's super duper useful for us. It just really enables you to be quite granular and to work things around so that you know you can split refurb costs, you can take on refurb costs without losing out over the course of your deal. That's something that we do sometimes. Or you can offer a higher rent to the landlord if he or she takes on the refurb cost up front. It just gives you flexibility to be able to offer the service and be able to add value. The most important part of this business, as any other business, is to deliver value to your customers. So when you can deliver exceptional value to your customers, you become exceptionally popular. Your phone rings more, you get more business. So that's basically what it's all about, and the spreadsheet just helps you understand the numbers and what you can offer a little bit better. So let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you've got any questions. Did I run through it a bit too quickly? I don't know. Anything you need to know, just ask me below. And if you like this, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up by pressing the thumbs up button, and also share it with any friends who are also in this business with us. Again, if you've got any questions, please put them in the comments below. And that's it for this week, guys. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.